Hey, it's Miss Alana here, working on math, getting smarter and smarter every day, just like you. Welcome to another episode of our Georgia Milestones practice episodes series so that you can get ready for the Georgia Milestones. And not only that, moving on to 6th grade. Raise your hand if you want to stay here in 5th grade with me. Oh no, you better go. I need all of you all to go to middle school, but guess what? You need to prepare and you need to be ready for it. So make sure you do everything you need to every day, okay? All right, now in this episode, we are going to do some problem solving. So make sure you have your notebook. Get your notebook. Go get it now. Have your pencil. Get your notebook. All right, are you ready? All right, we're going to read the problem first. I'll put it right here. Now you need to write it down. Write it down because guess what we need to do? We need to do our cubes, clues, and you can't do it on the screen. You can't circle on the screen. So write this problem down as I read it to you and as I put it up on the screen for you. You can pause it if you need more time. Okay, good. All right, it says Alex has 4.5 feet of string. Can you see? All right, she used 2 2/3 feet of string. How much string does she have left? All right, I'll read that again. Alex has 4.5 feet of string. She used 2 2/3 feet of string. How much string does she have left? Go ahead and pause and write that down. And once you're done writing that down, let's go ahead and work through our cubes clues before we show our work, okay? I'm not going to do it. I need for you to do it. First thing you need to do is what? C step, circle the numbers. So what numbers do you see? That 4.5 and 2 2/3. Okay, so those fractions, those are numbers, so make sure you circle those. Next step is the U step to underline keywords. What keywords do you see? I see feet. That's the unit that goes with 4.5. What else? Here's feet. Well, you can underline other things that you might find important, but the most important things to me I see are like 4.5 feet, 2 2/3 feet, and I like this keyword left because that tells you what you need to do, and I know you already know what to do. The next step is the B step to box the question. What is the question? Right here. How much string does she have left? E step, eliminate unnecessary information. Is there anything we need to eliminate? No, so they didn't give us any extra numbers, fractions, or facts to distract us and confuse us, so we can pass that step. And the last step is to what? Solve and check. All right, so I'm going to solve it down here. You solve it in your notebook. What do we need to do? We need to figure out what we need to do. That's what we need to do. What operation are we doing? We need to subtract, okay? So make sure that you subtract. I'm going to write that down. And, all the other times, you see when we were working these out, I wrote the problem horizontally. You could also write it vertically. So I'm going to write those vertically. 4.5. Minus 2 2/3. Okay, do you see that right there? 4.5 minus 2 2/3. So you could write it that way, or you can write it horizontally. You can do it that way as well, whichever one works for your brain. Okay, so let's go ahead and subtract. Oh no, we can't subtract. Why can we not subtract? Because our denominators are what? Different numbers. We cannot subtract fractions if the denominators are different. So what do we need to do? We need to make them have the same denominator. All right, so I'm going to draw an arrow going this way. Okay, you all see what I did right here? So I drew an arrow because 4, and then I need to make up a fraction. Not make up a fraction, right? Equivalent fraction, and there's a 2 right there, okay? So I have 1/2 and 2/3. My denominators are 2 and 3, so what can we use? 6. That would be a good denominator to use. So I'm going to write 6 right there and right there, just like that, okay? So now let's look at this 1/2. 1/2. How did this 1/2, how did that 2 become a 6? What did we do? We multiplied it by 3. So what do I do with the 1? Multiply it by 3. So I have 4 and 3, 6. Just like that. Okay. Now I did not write times 3 because I'm going to keep that in my mind. I can do that mentally. Raise your hand if you can. So if you don't need to write it down, that's actually fine as long as you're doing it correctly. But you could go ahead and write it down to help you make sure that you don't make a mistake. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. Times 3 times 3. Okay. Just like that. Okay. For the next one, 2 2/3. How did this 3 become a 6? I multiplied it by 2. So if I multiply the denominator by 2, I multiply the numerator by 2, not the whole number, okay? Just the fraction, and what's that? 4. Just like that. Okay, now what? Now we subtract, but there's an issue. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a problem. Can you look at this right here and tell why we can't subtract? Look, because I can't do 3, 6 minus 4, 6 is not enough. So we need to do something. What do we need to do? We need to borrow from the whole number. I need to borrow from this 4 whole. All right, so if I borrow from that 4 whole, I'm going to cross out that 4 whole and make it a what? A 3 whole. Just like that. Now, you cannot just cross out this 3 right here and make it a 13. That only works with our standard algorithm if we are subtracting whole numbers and decimals. Okay, so with fractions, that is not how we regroup. Okay. Now, if I borrowed 1 whole from that 4, I need to convert that 1 whole into fraction pieces because that's a fraction, that 3, 6. So 1 whole is the same thing as what? 2 halves, 3 thirds, 10 tenths, 12 twelves, 8 eighths, 6 sixths, 5 fifths. Now, which of those should I use? I'm going to use 6 6 because of this 3 6. Okay. Do you understand that? I'm going to write it on the side. So we know that 1 whole right there. You see that 1 whole equals 6 over 6? So take that 1 whole that I borrowed from this 4, which equals 6 6, add the 6 6 to that 3 6, and I have what? 9 6. Now, this may be kind of confusing and tricky, but we'll do more practice. I know some of you all have been working on this, and we'll get more of these. And the more you do it, the better it gets, and the easier. All right. And if you still don't get it, I can explain it to you again or watch the video again, okay? So now we can subtract. This 3 whole minus the 2 whole is 1 whole. And then 9 6 minus 4 6, that 9 minus 4 is what? 5. And there's my answer, 1 and 5 6. Don't forget your unit. What's your unit? 1 and 5 6 what? Feet of string. So I'm going to write that down. Bam, and we are done. Don't forget that when you are working out word problems, doing any type of problem solving, use your cubes clues. That'll help you make sure that it guides you, and it'll help make sure that you get the right answer. So make sure you do that. Get that done. If you have not, we have some other videos in our Milestones practice. Get those done. 500 videos in the channel. Watch those. Get on MobyMax Math, the Fact Fluency, Study Ladder. Get your Study Island done if you have not. And that is it. Get all those things done for the day. I'm done for the day. No, I still have work to do. I know you have work to do too. So let's get busy and get smarter and smarter. Love you. Mwah.